Well, hello there. How are you doing today? Do you feel like doing a little bit of DIYing? Well, come on in. Let's get started. What do I have going on for you for today? Oh, hi, Biza. Please hold. We've got the big boy. Hi. Oh, whoa. You give the big loves, don't you? The big kisses, don't you? Oh, you like the camera too, huh? Hi, big boy. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Everybody loves to see a good Biza day, huh? A good Biza clip. What do I have going on for you for today? Well, today I'm bringing to you several holiday DIYs that I think you are absolutely gonna love. These are fun, these are festive, and not only are they good for the holidays, but once Christmas passes, they're DIYs that you can keep up during the winter season. They don't scream Christmas. I love that, don't you? Guess what? I'm gonna quit my gabbing. Let's jump into it and let's do some DIYing, Dollar Tree DIYing on a budget. We'll call it, say, for the winter season. How about that? All right, let's get to it. Who is today's KB Creations crafter of the day? You'll want to stick around to the end of the video to see if it's your creation that's being featured in today's video. Jumping on into these DIYs, I'm going to start off with this box, setting the lid aside, because for this one, we're just going to use the box and these wood rings. I'm going to hot glue these rings to the bottom part of this box. Yep, can you guess what I'm going with? These are going to be wheels. These are perfect for that. Some nice hollow wheels. Why not? Getting creative, thinking out of the box. Did I tell you? These are hot cocoa and cream DIYs, and you're getting 10 of them today. So, yep, this is going to be a wagon. We needed 4 of the rings, and they're going to go just like so. I'm going to flip this over, and I'm going to add, what is that called? It's not a handle. What is that? Somebody tell me. I am drawing a blank. Well, you know what I'm doing with this. I'm going to use these popsicle sticks, add them here to the bottom because this is what's going to attach to whatever's going to pull the wagon. Yeah, that's it. And this wagon, well, it's going to get a good couple coats of my rustic red that I make using some of Waverly's chalk paint in the color of crimson. And I'm going to add just a bit of Hello Hobby's dark brown to rustic that red up a bit. Take the brightness out. Mute it out. There is a color scheme for these DIYs, and I am going with red, brown, and white, I believe. Yeah, that's what I'm going with, red, brown, and white. I wanted to use window clings, but it's still a bit early. My Dollar Tree has scarce Christmas stuff out right now, so I opted to use my Cricut, cut out some vinyl. This says marshmallows. So I've got marshmallows on each side, and I've cut out, yes, look at how cute those are, right? So to this, I'm going to use the netting. I cut a piece of it off to act as fillers, as a liner to my marshmallow wagon. Yeah, why not? It's hot cocoa and cream. So to this, on top of the netting, I'm going to add some of these pom-poms. They're white ones. Only I felt like there was something missing, so I dug into my ink stash, got some of Tim Holtz Distress ink in the color of walnut stain, and I'm going to add just a bit of this stain to what is, yes, my marshmallows, so they look like they were toasted. Because why not? It's cute. It's those fine details. Look at how cute those are. Oh my goodness. I think this one might be my favorite DIY, but we'll see because I've got some cute ones for you. And this is DIY number 1, where I added stitching. Of course I did. We've got the lid to the box. Why not utilize it? I'm going to give this a good couple coats using some of Hello Hobby's brown. Digging into my Christmas stash, I picked out one of these Snowflake ornaments. This is a DIY ornament that you can get right now at Dollar Tree, and it's going to get a good couple coats of some white chalk paint. I'm going to cheat a bit. Before the second coat on this snowflake dries, I'm gonna take some of the faux snow at Dollar Tree and I'm gonna sprinkle it over my ornament. This is gonna act just like Mod Podge. It's gonna stick just the same. Save us some time. You all know I'm all about dimension, and so to the back side of this snowflake, I'm gonna add some of those wood beads because this is gonna help elevate it up off of the inside of this drawer. Now, I didn't worry about filling in where the llama was because I knew that this snowflake was gonna cover it up just fine, and this would be such a cute, fun piece to add what is going to be my hot cocoa tiered tray. To the top of this, I'm gonna add some pipe cleaner. I'm just using pipe cleaner because I wanted to add a decorative handle to this and I wanted it to stand upright. I'm gonna cover the pipe cleaner with this fun red and cream gingham ribbon that I just feel screams hot cocoa, and it's the colors that I'm using, so why not do it? And I feel like it was missing something and stitching was not gonna do it. And so when I held up this ribbon to the edge of it, I thought, you know what, self, this is the perfect finishing touch to frame out this box, adding the perfect decorative look to it. Look at how cute that is. It screams my hot cocoa and cream colors. Next up, this extra large plastic ornament. So to this ornament, it's gonna get a good coat or two of some chalk paint, and I am using a sponge dabber to apply it for a couple of reasons. One, I don't want brush strokes, and two, by adding, or I guess using the sponge dabber to apply the paint, it's going to give it texture. I'm gonna add first a cute vinyl to this that says Hot Cocoa Weather. Around the brown vinyl, I am going to add some Mod Podge, kind of framing out that vinyl because this is going to be a snowball. So once I've completely added or covered, I guess I should say, this ornament ball with Mod Podge, I am gonna go in with that faux snow, add that to it, and it is going to be adorable. And I did add a bit of the ribbon right around the neck of the ornament just to disguise it. Next up, we've got these tags. This was an ornament. I went ahead and disassembled the tags, took them apart, and I'm gonna give these a good coating of some white chalk paint as well. And surprise, surprise, again, using my Cricut, I cut out some brown vinyl that says hot chocolate. Now, I wanna kind of stack these. So to do that, on the back side, I'm just gonna use a jumbo popsicle stick and place it right on the seam right here, connecting what I'm gonna call the two tag plaques. Digging into my stash, I went looking for these cute mugs. Dollar Tree had these a couple of months ago. I picked a few packs up. Turns out they're gonna be perfect for this themed hot cocoa tray that I'm doing. This mug is going to get a nice good coating of some brown. Then I decided just to add a bit of detail with some white vinyl. And here on the edge, I'm gonna place this mug, just trying to disguise the uneven plaques, I guess. This definitely needs some of my stitching, so I'm gonna go in with some of that rustic red and add some stitching to this tag sign. Yeah, it's so cute. I'm so not done though. Wait until you see how I finish this off. The top of this mug needs some whipped cream, right? And so to add whipped cream, I'm just gonna go to my go-to method of using some of Dollar Tree's caulking by Tool Bench. It is perfect for this. It dries hard, it adds texture, and it gives the illusion and the look of whipped cream. So just by doing a dabbing motion, yep, I'm gonna achieve just that. Where there's hot cocoa and whipped cream, there must be sprinkles, right? I had some red sprinkles in my cabinet, so that's what I'm using. Such a fun piece to add to a hot cocoa tiered tray. Next up, this mug plaque. Now I wanted to get rid of the front, the paper on the front, the decorative paper on the front. When I peeled it up, I realized there was a misprint. How funny is that? And so they had just put a new print right over the mishap that they had. Oh well, I'm gonna go in with some white chalk paint, give this a good couple coats of paint, because after I realized I couldn't really get the paper up, it was gonna make more of a mess than I wanted to deal with. I just figured it'd be easier to put in an extra coat than try and sand and even out this plaque. Yep, that's the story and I'm sticking to it. Well, the fabric on the dog toy is perfect for this theme that I'm going with. So I decided just to cut it apart, utilize the fabric of the dog toy. I'm gonna hot glue it onto the front of this plaque, kind of making a decorative, what is that, mug holder? That's what I'll call it, why not? Once I got it on, I thought that it was super cute, but I needed to utilize those rubber bands. Those rubber bands, I figured that they would be perfect for the lid of my cup, adding texture. Why not? Wait until you see how cute this turned out. I was kind of surprised at how good it looked when I was done. As I was looking at the front of this, I was feeling like the edges of the fabric needed a finishing touch. So again, I dug into my ribbon and pulled out this rickrack. It is black. I initially was going with black for this, I guess, DIY. But as I was doing it, I really liked the piece itself, but thought it wasn't going to go with the tray. And so once I got all of my pieces on, I did decide to go in with some brown paint and make it work. Make it fit into my theme. Why not paint rubber bands? Why not paint rickrack? And to the front of this, I'm gonna use just a regular vinyl, not a heat transfer vinyl, just a regular vinyl, and it's gonna stick to the fabric. Look even better with just a bit of my stitching. Adorable. Now for this amazing smelling candle. Yeah, smells just like coffee. I'm gonna melt this down in my oven. Then I'm gonna take one of these adorable mini mason jars and I am going to pour this melted down candle into this mason jar. I'm transferring it from one glass to another glass. I pulled out the wick. It wasn't quite melted, but that's okay. It's gonna weight it down and keep that wick in place. I'm gonna let this solidify. Once it's good and solid, look at that. We are good to go with a cute mason jar candle, but we're not done, because it needs to suit our tray. So I'm gonna go in with some of that rustic red and give this a good coat of that. As an embellishment, I'm gonna add a super cute brown vinyl. And you can see off to the side that I painted the mason jar lid, gave it some stitching. To the top of this lid, I'm gonna add some caulking for whipped cream. And what's great about this is we can keep the lid on and it looks like a cup of hot cocoa, or I can still unscrew the lid and utilize this as a candle. I'm gonna take just a little snippet of a paper straw that doesn't match right now, I know. You're gonna wanna put this into the caulking while it's still wet, and while that caulking is still wet, we wanna add some sprinkles to this. Once we've got that done, we are good to go ahead and paint our straw brown. Okay, this one might be my favorite. We'll see. Now I've got the wood plaque. What am I gonna do with this? Well, start off by giving it a good coating of some white paint. I've still got some of that red gingham ribbon, so I'm gonna go ahead and frame this plaque out with that. A pipe cleaner and a clothespin. I'm gonna disassemble my clothespin and it's gonna get a good coating of some brown paint. To this clothespin, I am going to add the pipe cleaner up here at the top, just like so. Yep, I bet you know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna take a smaller piece that I've folded and kind of made look like a V, and I'm gonna add that to one side, and then I'm gonna do the same on the other side. You know where I'm going with this. I am making a clothespin reindeer. I had some googly eyes in my stash that are gonna work perfect for that. So I'm gonna add those as well. How cute are these? And they are so easy to do. Perfect way to utilize a clothespin and pipe cleaner, right? And for the nose, I figured I'd take one of these berries off because it was sitting right there. I had it on hand, so why not? It's gonna work. It's the perfect size. Yes, look at how cute that is. And this reindeer clothespin is going to go on the plaque, and this is going to serve as a picture holder, or in my case, a recipe card holder. But I felt like it was a little bit bare, and since this is going on my hot cocoa tiered tray, I decided to add a vinyl to the center of this as well. Now, for those of you who want to do some of these DIYs but don't have a Cricut, I say hold out and wait for the window cleans to be in stock at your Dollar Tree and use those because they'll be perfect. On the back of this, because I want it to stand up, I'm going to use some Jenga blocks and hot glue them just like you see me doing here. Okay, I really love this. Such a fun piece to hold those recipe cards. This mini stretch canvas that I am going to utilize for the wood that was stretching the canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and disassemble it, and using one of the longer sides of the wood and the shorter, I'm going to hot glue it together just like this. There is no cutting of wood needed in this. Then I'm going to take the last long piece of wood and I'm going to hot glue it onto that smaller piece, just like so, making this. See that? What is this going to be after I painted it brown? Yes, a Scrabble tile holder. Is that what it's called in Scrabble? That's what I'm calling it. And using these Scrabble tiles that you can get at Dollar Tree, I'm going to spell out the word cocoa. This was just a bit too plain, feeling like it needed a little something. Typically, I probably would have added some stitching, but because I have this adorable ribbon and it seems to go so perfectly with the theme, that's what I'm going to add to this piece. And okay, I'm going to add a snowflake too, because why not? Because I have them. This gold candle holder, well, it's the perfect shape. The perfect shape for a Christmas tree, only I need to remove the top of this. Yep, that's gone. Now I can take some of Dollar Tree's Christmas tree garland, wrap it around this, and it's going to act like a styrofoam wood that's in the shape of a Christmas tree, only it's not. It was a gold candle holder. Why not? My hot cocoa tray needs a Christmas tree. To this tree, I'm going to add a full roll of the berry garland that you can get right now at Dollar Tree. Pick them up because they are adorable and such a fun addition to so many DIYs. It's working perfect for this one. I want my tree to look wintry and fun, and so an easy way to do that is to take a paintbrush with some white paint and just kind of brush it along the tips, giving my Christmas tree that snowy white look. And this black and white gingham bow, it was added to the ornaments that I disassembled and made the sign that said hot chocolate, and so I thought it would be perfect to finish off the top of my Christmas tree with. You can't have a Christmas tree without Christmas tree lights, so I'm going to add some of these LED lights to it, and it'll be the perfect finishing touch to my hot cocoa tiered tray Christmas tree. And there we have it. How fun is that? A hot cocoa themed tiered tray using the items from this mystery box challenge that Courtney sent to me. I think it's fun to take items that you have in your stash that maybe you don't know what to do with, repurpose them, and make a fun tiered tray. I say make a hot cocoa tiered tray, because why not? Well, since we're here, why not? Thanksgiving isn't quite here yet. We still got a little bit of time. If you like the hot cocoa themed DIYs, you're gonna love these pumpkin spiced ones. This is a bit of a throwback since it's Thursday. Let's jump into it. This is a footed mug. Guess where you can find it? At Dollar Tree. It is such a fun glass to use for this first DIY. For this first DIY, I'm gonna paint this glass with this classic caramel. This is a multi-surface satin by Apple Barrel. I am loving this multi-surface paint. I'm finding that it really adheres well onto glass Hence, because it is a multi-surface paint. So you're not gonna find that when you apply that first coat and it dries, when you go to apply that second coat, it doesn't lift that first coat up because it is a multi-surface paint. With a basic acrylic paint, you will find that the paint lifts when you apply that second coat. So it is best to pay the extra 50 cents and get the multi-surface paint. When doing a DIY, I find that it's easiest if you're using accent colors to just go in first with a base coat. Do your whole piece in that base coat, then you can go in and easily add those accent colors. So to this mug, and I am doing a great job again, keeping this in frame, I'm gonna add the accent colors to the handle and to the footed part of this mug because I think that doing that is gonna add character and personality to this glass versus just having it one solid color and maybe just adding some stitching. Oh, and trust me, there will be stitching to some of these DIYs, but not all of them. Look at how pretty that looks. Now these DIYs, I kid you not, were solely based around this rub-on transfer, this pumpkin spice and everything nice. Probably one of my favorite rub-on transfers for the fall and harvest season. Picked up several of them. You've seen them in maybe one or two of my fall DIYs. Well, I thought it was perfect to add to this mug, so that's what I'm gonna do. Ask me why that lid is sitting there. Yeah, spoiler alert maybe? Oh my word, I love the look of this. It's gonna get better. I'm gonna add some pink sand. Why am I adding pink sand? Well, because Allie had pink sand in her craft stash that she didn't want anymore. So instead of throwing it away, I knew I could use it as filler in a glass. And so that's what it's acting as here. Then I'm gonna go in with some of this all-purpose caulk. This is by Tool Bench. This is a caulking that you can get at Dollar Tree. If you buy it anywhere else, you're gonna pay more than $3 a tube. So it's best just to grab a couple tubes at Dollar Tree because it works great for adding whipped cream to the top of a pumpkin spice latte maybe. Now, while our whipped cream is still wet, before it dries, I am going to add a paper straw. This is one that I had in my stash for my tiered trays. Yes, it is blue and white, but it is soon to be brown. I just figured I'd paint it once it was good and dry. Then I'm gonna go in with some of this tube confetti. Can you guess which one I'm using? Yep, I'm going in with this copper colored brown because it screams fall and harvest, and it can be used as sprinkles and it's not gonna bleed. In the past, I've used real sprinkles and I found that when I added it to the caulking when it was wet, the color from the sprinkles bled onto the caulking, which was a big bummer to me. I still continued to use it, but once I saw that Dollar Tree had this tube confetti, oh, it's perfect for sprinkles. These mini pumpkins, oh my word, they are perfect for this pumpkin spice latte, right? I'm gonna place 3 of them right here on top because look at how cute they are. They're everything on this latte. At some point, I did paint the straw brown, and the brown that I did use was the Chocolate Sprinkles by Apple Barrel, my new favorite brown. This piece screams everything fall and harvest, that pumpkin spice and everything nice. I love it. For this next one, we've seen these pictures at Dollar Tree from time to time. I had this in my stash. It's gonna get a good coating of that rustic orange that I make with the Hello Hobby pumpkin and a couple drops of brown just to kind of mute out that orange and make it not so bright. Rustic it up a bit. I want to say that it took me a total of 3 coats to get this coverage on the picture, and it's not even full coverage. It probably could have used a 4th coat. Boy, do I miss Waverly paint because it really was a 1 coat, sometimes a 2 coat paint. But nonetheless, I am working with what I have. This color is amazing. Once I got those 3 coats on, yep, I'm gonna go in with some of that Chocolate Sprinkles brown and add some stitching to this picture because it needs it. Once I added the stitching, I was thinking, okay, self, this handle definitely needs to be brown because there is too much orange on this picture. Once I added the brown to it, I was happy. Have you seen these window cleans at Dollar Tree? Pick this set up because it's gonna go perfect with these DIYs that I'm bringing to you today. For this picture, I thought I would add the cinnamon sticks. These are great alternatives to stickers or vinyls. I feel like these add more personality. I feel like they're more detailed, they're super cute, and I love them. So to the back of the window clings, I did add some spray adhesive, and that really is the key to adhering them onto a surface. And yeah, I ran out of the pink sand, so now I'm going in with the purple because I want this to be a picture of cream, and I don't want to use 3 tubes of caulking to fill this up. So it's best just to add a filler. Then I'm going to go in with what's left of this tube, which you can see is not very much. Come on, I am using this. It is good to the last drop. We are leaving none to waste. Once I've got enough in there, I am gonna go in there with some wet fingers. I added some water to my fingers, and that's gonna help just distribute the caulking a bit better. I'm gonna pinch it because I want it to look a bit frothy. How about adding a pinch or 2 of pumpkin spice seasoning to this? Because why not? Because we can. I'm not sure what I'm more obsessed with. The theme, pumpkin spice and everything nice, the colors of fall and harvest, or these window clings as embellishments? You tell me. These mini mason jars, you can find them at Dollar Tree just about all year round. They're made for seasonings. I'm using it for today's DIY because it's gonna make for a fun, quick and easy, but adorable fall and harvest accent piece. So to this mason jar, it's gonna get a good couple coats of Apple Barrel's chocolate sprinkle. Alrighty, I guess we're fast forwarding in this DIY and just jumping right into adding the maple leaf cling onto this mason jar. I'm not seeing the footage where I actually painted the lid and added the stitching. Nonetheless, the color that I used for the lid is that Desert Tan by Hello Hobby, and just did the coordinating stitching. On the top of this lid, I'm just gonna go in with some Mod Podge and kind of dab it over the existing holes because this mason jar is not just a regular seasoning. Oh no, no, it is gonna be full of pumpkin spice sprinkles. Yes, well, okay, tubed confetti sprinkles from Dollar Tree. Oh my word, I love this DIY, so stinking cute. But I'm gonna add some twine to the neck of it because I feel like it needs it. Yeah, and a twine bow will finish this mason jar off perfectly. These jars are a must, so next time you're at Dollar Tree, pick up 2 or 3 or 5 like I did. Because this is a pumpkin spice and everything nice, I thought a sugar bowl would be a fun addition to these DIYs. And so with that, I'm gonna give this bowl a good coating of, gosh, I wanna say Desert Tan, but no, I am a cashew lover and I'm thinking that this is cashew. So yeah, go with some cashew, because I did. That lid you saw earlier, spoiler alert, well, this is it. It originally started off being this cashew color when I realized, wait a minute, we can't have the lid the same color as the jar itself. So then I did go over it with some of the chocolate sprinkles to darken it up and add, you know what I'm gonna say, a bit of character and personality to this piece. Oh, and here we are, we're painting the lid to the mason jar here. Huh, well, if this isn't out of order. Yeah, so the lid was not Desert Tan, it was cashew. Referring back to my window cling sheet, there were these acorns on there that I thought were the perfect size that would look adorable on this jar. Now, I will tell you, when adding spray adhesive to a window cling, it kind of rolls up a little bit if you don't move fast. And so in this case, I got a bit of the adhesive on the window cling, but it was an easy fix just by taking some Goo Gone and it wiped right off. And of course, I'm gonna finish this piece off with more stitching because it wouldn't be a DIY of mine if I didn't. Funny thing is that so many of you in my one DIY, gosh, what was it? Maybe a couple videos ago, had said that it was kind of my signature thing. And I don't know that I ever really thought about it that way, but you know what? I think you may be right, because it wouldn't be a DIY if I didn't do it. A Kelly Barlow DIY anyway. Yep, Adding the brown lid was a definite must, and what a fun piece this turned out to be. Quick, easy, budget friendly, and it's an accent piece. Next up, I'm using a plate. These white plates seem to be the smallest plates that Dollar Tree had. Technically, this is a salad plate. The clear plates were a bit bigger, and I didn't need something that big, and so I looked for the smallest plate, and this was it, long story short. To this plate, it's gonna get a good coating of that caramel apple barrel multi-surface paint. And yeah, enough said, we'll just watch as I do some stitching. Now, for those of you who have commented in the comment section about the ratio of water to paint that I use when doing my stitching to thin out my paint, I really just kind of water it down enough that it doesn't look like watered down paint, but it thins it out enough that the paint is actually keeping its pigment. Because what tends to happen is if you put a bit too much water in your paint when you do the stitching, your paint doesn't come out pigmented and a solid color. It comes out, I guess, watered down. And so, yeah, I add just a bit to thin it out, so when I apply those stitching, they go on nice and smooth. Referring back to that window cling set, yes, there were these green leaves on this window cling set that I thought were gonna be perfect to add to this plate. Just a little something to give it more of that autumn and harvest feel and add a decorative feature to it, because why not? Guess why? Because we can. This plate is super cute, and there are a couple DIYs that we could add to this, so let me show you what those are. For this DIY, I worked my way over to the food section, the cookie aisle to be specific, and I grabbed this tin of Danish-style butter cookies. I actually really like these. I wanted to add cookies to the plate, but I didn't want to make them out of Play-Doh or clay because I wasn't feeling like I could do it. Believe it or not, I was feeling a little intimidated by that. I wasn't sure of a technique to use, and I was feeling a bit on the lazy side when it came to me that Dollar Tree has these tins of butter cookies that have these fun shapes in them. These are gonna work perfect. I'm not worried about the critters getting to them because I'm basically sealing these cookies when I paint them. So nobody's gonna be none the wiser that these were actually real cookies. They're gonna think that I made them out of clay or Play-Doh, which is fine, and I saved a ton of time doing it because they were already formed. Cool idea, right? If you wanna make them out of Play-Doh or clay, I say go for it, but yeah, look at this. I painted 4 cookies and I had a whole tin left to eat with my coffee. Win-win. I put a second coat of paint on these, and you can see that I put a pretty healthy coat because I'm gonna go in with the tube confetti and I'm gonna use it for sprinkles. And I didn't want to add Mod Podge to this. I figured it needed a second coat of paint anyway, so why not kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Put a nice thick coat of paint on there, and then I can add the sprinkles and they're gonna stick to the paint, giving me, yes, decorative sprinkled cookies that have that fall and harvest feel. And these can easily go on the plate. I picked up a few of these because they had them in white, which makes them easy to work with because you can paint it. So with these, I'm gonna take 2 packages of them. Crayola's Model Magic can be a little bit hard to work with, and I say that in the sense of it's a little bit hard to smooth it out and get the cracks out, get a nice smooth finish. The trick behind getting the cracks out and getting a nice smooth finish out of the Model Magic is to just wet your hands with water while working with it. And you'll find that it softens it up, it smooths it out, and it makes it a lot easier to work with. So just kind of dip your hands in water, work with your clay, get it to the form or the shape that you want it to be. In my case, I started off by rolling it in a ball because I want to make a slice of pumpkin pie out of this. Once I got it fairly well formed, I did go in with a bit more water, and you can see just how the water smooths it out and it really makes those cracks disappear. My pumpkin pie needs a crust, so I'm going to take the scraps that are left over from the 2 packages that I used for the pie itself. I'm going to roll it out nice and thin. Once I've got it good and thin, or the thickness that I want it to be, the thickness I want my crust to be thinned out, I'm gonna place my pie slice right on top. And yeah, it is still wet, so I used a spatula just to move it from point A to point B. And then using a butter knife, I'm gonna cut off that excess, I guess, clay, forming my pie crust. Ask me to explain what I'm doing here. This is the part that's gonna come up, I guess, on the back of the pie that's gonna kind of hang over and kind of give it that decorative edge that you see on a pie crust. I don't even know what the right verbiage is, and I don't even have a word that we could even add to the Kelly Barlow vocabulary because, yeah, making pies just isn't my thing. But look, I made it. Now I'm gonna take a fork and I'm just gonna put those lines in it. I think they use a fork for the lines anyway, or do they pinch it? Or do they do both? Well, I'm adding the lines from a fork just to give it that decorative edge. I'm gonna let this dry overnight before I paint it. And it's gonna take about 12 to 15 hours to dry. Don't put it in the oven because it will crack. Guess what? It's the next day. I've got a few little minor cracks in it, but I'm not too worried about it. I think that the paint will fill it in. So going in with my pumpkin orange paint, I'm gonna give this a good couple coats of that. And I'm gonna use that caramel by Apple Barrel for the crust. This DIY probably is my favorite because once I got the pumpkin pie on the plate, look at how cute that is! How fun is that, right? What a fun DIY to make! But I'm thinking this pie needs a dollop of whipped cream. Yes! Oh my goodness, I love that. And then once I added the whipped cream, I decided to top it off with a bit of that pumpkin spice seasoning as well. So cute, right? But guess what? It could be even cuter. Wait for it. This last DIY I thought would be a cute and fun addition. It's using these utensils. These are wood utensils that you can get at Dollar Tree right about now. You're gonna get 12 in a pack, which is 4 sets. So to these, I'm gonna give them a good coating of the cashew paint. I wanted to add some kind of an embellishment to these utensils, but the window clings were on the larger side. There weren't a lot of small ones, so I went ahead and cut one up that had leaves on it, and just using a single leaf and adding a bit of Mod Podge to the back of it, I thought that these would be perfect for each of the utensils. And well, yes, of course. Am I predictable? I may very well be, but I choose to call it consistent. Look at how cute these are looking, but they most definitely all needed a twine bow on them. Look at how cute these are. They have such a rustic autumn feel to them. The leaves were perfect. Oh my goodness, wait until you see what I do with these. I wanted to add a little bit of texture to the knife. So taking some of the caulking and the orange paint, I thought it would be fun to add just a bit of this to the knife to make it look like the knife just cut through the pumpkin pie. I didn't want to just add the paint itself because then it wouldn't be elevated. So by adding the caulking to the paint, it is giving me that elevated look, and I can add it to the cutting edge of the knife. And I think that it's just finishing touches like this that kind of take a DIY to the next level. And would you look at how stinking cute this is? I love this. This takes me back to the days when I was a kid and I used to play with food, but I just love this because it has such a country rustic feel to it. I feel like this spoon would be super cute if it had some whipped cream on it. And to this whipped cream, oh yes, it definitely needs one of those mini pumpkins. Okay, I am loving all of these DIYs. They are so fun and cute. Let's go take a look at them all together. Who is today's KB Creations Crafter of the Day? It's going out to Tammy, who's bringing to us her Fallen Harvest tier tray. Tammy, I am loving how fun and festive your tray is. Thank you so much for sharing your creation with us today.
Yeah, I know. Hot cocoa theme and pumpkin spice. It is all that yummy goodness into one. I hope you all enjoyed the hot cocoa themed DIYs and a bit of the Throwback Thursday. If you're looking for more DIY inspiration, well, guess what? I've got you covered. You can click on the video right over here and it'll take you to some of my past favorites. Until next time, everybody, I hope you have a fantastic day. Happy crafting on a budget. Stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, but most of all, you know what I'm gonna say. Stay positive, please. Can you do that for me? Because I'm sure trying. Bye for now, everybody.